saw in this morning's Sunday Mirror that we're joining them in a hunt for 600 children. Actually, they aren't children anymore because these children were brought over to England in 1939. That's 49 years ago, from Prague in Czechoslovakia. They were all in the gravest danger because they were Jewish, some of them orphans, their parents might have been arrested, or maybe their parents were just intellectuals or communists, the kind of people that Hitler really hated. If they hadn't been rescued and brought over to England, these children would have been killed by the Nazis. But in fact, they were saved by an English stockbroker called Nicholas Winton. He works now for the old people's charity, Abbeyfields. Now, Mr. Winton doesn't want thanks, but he feels that he may still have some documents or information that might help those children trace their families. He himself got involved in saving them by chance. He told us,
I had a friend, Martin Blake, who suggested I should go to Prague in 1938 to join him and try and help the refugees. There were people working out there to save them, but nobody specifically arranging for the children to escape. When they heard what I was trying to do, desperate parents kept begging me to save their children. I made a list of the most urgent cases. We took pictures of them and tried to find a home and a sponsor for each child in Britain. Sometimes we had to make fake permits for the children. At the last moment, the German or the Czech authorities demanded extra money or said the papers weren't in order. But at last, on the 1st of July 1939, we got 241 children onto a train from Prague to London. It was absolute chaos when they arrived at Liverpool Street Station. 241 children, from babies to teenagers, with name tags round their necks and foster parents waiting for them.
in all, Nicholas Winton and the committees who helped him managed to save 664 children. This is his scrapbook. There are all kinds of fascinating pictures in it. Perhaps you can see, this is a picture of Nicholas Winton himself with one of the children he rescued. And here on the opposite page you can see the identification card of one of the little boys. His name's Hans Heinrich Feiger. If you look at the very back of this scrapbook, fascinating things in it, all the letters. But back here, you will see, is the list of all the children and the foster families who took them in. Mr. Winton told us,
My greatest disappointment came in September that year, when 250 children were ready to come over. On the very day they were due to leave, war broke out. I can't imagine what became of those children.
and in fact there's a letter here in the scrapbook explaining that all the work regarding the bringing over of children into this country has had to be postponed until further notice, and that of course is because war broke out. I'll show you one other thing that struck us very touching. Here, if you just have a look here, you can see little composites of the pictures of the children as they were then. I don't know if you can see that. And here, if you look, there's their names, and this one here, it says placed. You see, there the children are. We asked Mr. Winton how he feels knowing so many people owe their lives to him. He said,
I'm only disappointed I couldn't have saved more. So many lives could have been saved if people at the time had realised the urgency. It's heartbreaking.
but still his achievement is wonderful. Now, Mr. Winton himself has traced one of those children, Rudolf Vesely, who is with us here tonight. There he is. Good evening, Mr. Vesely.
Evening.
Lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
And we've actually managed to find 3 more. This is Vera Diamant when she was 10. Now she's Vera Gissing. She told us,
This is the picture from which I was chosen by my family in 1939. I shall never forget waving goodbye to my parents and suddenly feeling very afraid because I caught the expression of fear on my parents' tear-stained faces. There were German soldiers all around us.
do you remember actually arriving in England?
I do, the tearful parting with my sister, she's in New Zealand now, and when my foster mother first saw me, I call her my little English mummy because she's so small. Tears were pouring down her face and she hugged me and said some words which I didn't understand. But now I know she said, "You shall be loved." And she was right, loved I was. They had very little money, but they had a heart as big as a house. They did everything they could to make me happy. I was very lucky. My 2 cousins were going to come over in September, but the war broke out and they never arrived. I learned that they'd both died in Belsen.
She gave us a picture of her little English mummy. It was actually taken in November on her 91st birthday. She looked lovely. There is written on the back that she, with her husband and daughter, chose me and therefore saved my life. I spend every birthday with her in Ormskirk in Lancashire. Vera is writing a book of her life, which is called The Pearls of Childhood. She told us,
My parents tried to minimise the danger, but the night before I left, my mother wanted to prepare me, so she carried me to an open window. The night sky was full of stars. She said, Let the stars and the sun be messengers of our love and our thoughts. And all through the war, I spoke to my mother through the stars and the sun, and I hope maybe she spoke to me. My father gave me a beautiful leather diary and told me to write in it so that after the war we could read it together. I never saw either of them again.
her book is based on that diary. Until we told her this week, she had no idea that Nicholas Winton had in fact arranged her rescue. But we did find her name, Vera Diamant, as she was then, on his list. So we told her about him. She said,
I tried very hard to find out who had rescued us. I even tried the Archbishop of Canterbury to see if he knew, but I drew a blank. I would very much like to meet Nicholas Winton, to thank him for saving my life. If it hadn't been for this man, I wouldn't be here to tell the tale.
Vera Gissing is with us here tonight. Hello, Vera. And I should tell you that you are actually sitting next to Nicholas Winton. Would you mind hanging on to your handkerchief, because we found two more of those children. One of them is called Hanush Schnabel. He was only 11 when he came over here. We have his passport with all the official stamps on it. I don't know if you can see. This is how he got out. He told us.
I don't know how my rescue was arranged. I had no idea when I left my parents at Prague station that I would never see them again. My older brother was supposed to come here in September, but war broke out and I never saw him again either. I hoped all through the war that they would survive, but they were gassed in a concentration camp. I've often wondered who was responsible for organising my rescue. I would dearly love to meet him and thank him for helping us children, without any hope of acknowledgement.
Hanush's name is on Nicholas Winton's list. They call him Hans there, you see. Hanush is here tonight, so you too can thank Mr. Winton. Story for you. Helena Fleischmann. She had to escape when she was 9 with her little sister because her father had helped the author Thomas Mann to escape, so he was on the Nazis' wanted list. She told us.
If it was Nicholas Winton who helped me to escape, my sister and my cousin with me, then I would be honoured to meet him, to thank him. If it were not for him, I would have gone the same way as my cousins, who both ended up in concentration camps.
Once again, Milena is on Nicholas's list. You see her there. But she is now Lady Milena Grenfell-Baines. And there she is. Milena, I believe you still have the name tag you wore around your neck when you arrived as a little girl at Liverpool.
I wore this around my neck. And this is the actual pass that we were given to come to England. And I'm another of the children that you saved. May I say that my mother is watching this evening.
Yeah.
She is 84 and she too was rescued and is in England and watching this programme this evening.
There you are, Mr. Winton. Well, a lot of memories brought back. I hope you now realise how grateful people are to you for what you've done. I know you don't want thanks, but I think you're certainly going to get them. Thank you so much for joining us.
Back in February, we told you about Nicholas Winton, who's here with us tonight. Now, Mr. Winton realised in 1938 that a great many children in Prague would be killed by the Nazis unless somebody rescued them. So he organised transport for them, he got visas, he even forged documents for them, and he managed to save 664 children who would certainly otherwise have been killed. But they never realised that Nicholas Winton was responsible and that they owed their lives to him.
We asked as many as possible of these grown-up children to get in touch with us, so they'd have the chance to thank Mr. Winton personally. Can I ask, is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? If so, could you stand up, please? Mr. Winton, would you like to turn round? You'll have the chance to meet these people properly after the programme. In the meantime, Mr. Winton, on behalf of all of them, thank you very much indeed.